Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So I zoomed in on the board a little bit just to show you how to play the game. I think it's easier to show you something like this. So the game is going to end when 5 of the 6 region bonuses are claimed. These will just give you victory points. Or someone has went to 5 different places on the board. So somebody has collected 5 cards, or 5 of the 6 have been collected collectively. That will trigger the end of the game. The play is very easy. The first thing you do on a turn is you're going to move, and this is a requirement. So if you're on an airport space, you can always zoom to another airport space. That's a free action that you can do. You can just move from airport to airport. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have a hand of cards, and you can play these cards. So I could play like a green, and I could move 2 spaces. The only trick of the matter is I can't move through another person or land on a space that they're on. I could also put multiple cards together, so I could put these 2 twos together and move 4 spaces. So maybe I wanted to go from my airport 1, 2, 3 up here to 4. Or maybe I didn't want to do that. Maybe I wanted to do the 2 and the 1. I wanted to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So I can use as many cards as I like from my hand to move using just the numbers. Whatever space I land on, I will gain 1 of these cubes. I'll come back to these cubes in just a moment. Then I can take 1 of 3 actions. I can draw 2 cards, take a tour, or a journey. So let's talk about drawing cards. There will always be 4 cards face up for the players to choose from. I can choose 2 of these cards. So I choose this one, then the next one will be replaced by another card, and now I can make a decision on which card that I want. If I don't like any of these cards, then I can always choose from the top of the deck. Very easy to do. Now let's talk about taking a journey. At the beginning of the game, there will always be an A card and a B card out on the board. This means I can give up 2 cards that are identical to take either the A action or the B action. And these are different. There's a whole bunch of these included in the game. So every game you play can be a little bit different or have a different combination. But if I give up 2 cards that are alike, I can take this action. So maybe I can take a tour, but use a fewer icon and gain 3 victory points. Or I can move up to 4 and draw 2 cards from the deck. So there might be things that I would like to do. So let's talk about taking a tour. This is the main way you're going to score victory points during the game. So what I need to do is get to the location listed on here. So in this case, Solar de Urani. So I want to get over here, which would be right here. If I was here and I happen to have 2 yellow cards in my hand, I could discard the 2 yellow cards, and I would be able to take this tour, and I would score the 12 victory points at the end of the game. So the icons at the bottom tell you which cards you have to give up and how many of them, and this is how many points that I would score. So in this case, if I was trying to accomplish this one, I have to be at this location and 2 red cards and score 12 victory points. At this one, I would also have to give 2 red cards and 12 victory points. This one, I would need to give up 2 green cards, a blue card, and I would gain 18 victory points. So that's kind of how that works. So that's your option. So to reiterate, I can move from airport to airport. If I happen to start my turn on airport, then I play cards for the numerical value to move how many locations I want to move, picking up the cube at the location I end on. Then I can choose to draw 2 cards, journey by using one of the special actions that are available to all players, or I can take a tour, which is give up the required cards at that location to gain the victory points listed. If you ever move to a location and it's the last cube on the board and you take it, then you will gain the region bonus. This will score you victory points at the end of the game. Remember, if 5 of the 6 of these are taken off the board, it will also trigger the end of the game. These will be placed face down in front of you and will score you extra victory points at the game. Now, there are no more cubes available in South America. Remember how I told you we'd come back to the cubes later. So as you're taking these cubes off the board by landing on that space, you will put them on these boards. And once you have 2, signified here by a star, you are eligible to take, if you have the most, the extra victory point cards. In this case, I would take this, signifying I have 12 additional points because I have the most yellow. Now, if another player came by and they got 3 yellow and I was still at 2, then they could take this from me, scoring those victory points. At the end of the game, if I have a complete row here, I will score 3 victory points. If I were able to fill up another row, I would score the 6 victory points. I don't score the 10 here, even though I have a yellow, because I don't also have a blue, red, and a white. So it kind of behooves you a little bit to get one of each color. That might be a decision you're making as you're moving across the board. Any additional ones after this, I can just simply put over here to the left. But remember, whoever has the most will be claiming this card to give you extra victory points, and this can be moved around. Just because I have the most now Doesn't mean I'll have the most later. At the end of the game, you're going to score any victory points for this. You will score victory points for any of these you've been able to claim and any of your locations that you went to. Whoever has the most victory points is your winner.